We have Mercury entering from his retrograde into the heart of the sun at 9 degrees of Leo. This is going to be happening in our skies this week ahead on July the 31st. And it is an exceptional storyline, guys. We have some major energies coming through this particular portal. When Mercury is retrograde, he's close to the earth and the sun. He's allowing for synchronicity and magic and alchemical reactions in our lives where things can really transform and change. We're getting messages from the divine headquarters of the solar system, the sun. That's like a hookup to the divine intelligence here. And in this week ahead, I'm going to share with you how you can use this Mercury retrograde to your advantage on July the 31st and what it may mean for you, even if you're not paying attention to it, how it may unfold in the weeks that follow. For every time Mercury goes into the heart of the sun from his retrogradation, he's extraordinarily powerful as literally the messenger of the gods. And we're also going to bring into our story Varuna, an asteroid about a Hindu god of creation that's right on top of that Cazimi. Mercury in the heart of the sun is a Cazimi. We also have another asteroid playing out in this particular conjunction that's pretty cool, Lucifer, the angel that created a war in heaven. We look at him as the light bearer, the bringer, the beautiful one, but the rebel angel, the rule-breaking angel, as well as somebody who fell from pride and arrogance and hubris. Now, these are more for the world stories. I'm finding these asteroids tend to play out in world stories. Indeed, an asteroid for a funeral, Memoria, is extremely active in our sky. So we'll be talking about maybe some major well-known figure passing away in the wake of this Mercury retrograde, if not news of that passing away on the very day of the retrograde. Cazimi conjunction in the heart of the sun at 9 degrees of Leo. There is a lot to talk about here. I'm going to show you the sky. I'm going to very lightly touch on some world political aspects that may occur. For Leo is the sky that belongs to J.D. Vance and Donald Trump, both Leo risings, the sky that belongs to Palestine in one of the Yasser Arafat caste charts. And we also have Leo rising as a place that belongs to Iran. And so all of those peoples, places, and things may figure prominently in our news stories, as well with South Node Mars and the asteroid South Node Mars and the star Alkaid, the star of female mourners. Virgo people, places, and things that are well known, especially Lebanon, may feature extremely strongly in our star stories of this week or two ahead. Now, what we're going to do is show you the sky. I want also to show you a few really cool shots to understand. You cannot understand Mercury retrograde and the heart of the sun conjunction unless you understand the broader themes under which it is happening. This is a part of Mercury's Elemental Fire series where he spends 6 of 12 months in fire signs because he's retrograde. He began that cycle in 2024 and completes it this year. Last time he did this Elemental Fire cycle was 2017 and 18. So you have a sense that we're going back to themes where Mercury wants us to understand, to know, to be curious, to investigate, to have information about the fire signs of Aries, Leo, and Sag. And if you are a fire sign, I have an Aries sun and moon, of course, you're right in the thick of it. So we'll get to your story as well. Welcome here. By the way, I didn't say hi. My name is Lori Lothian. I am the Western Tropical Zodiac Style Astrology person with fixed stars and minor asteroids coming into the story of everything I do. We'll be bringing up a couple of stars today as well. Now, one of the things I would remind you of, and it's just an invitation, someone criticized me for being all about advertising. Well, no, I'm sharing what I'm doing here because this is my sales funnel, right? I'm going to be teaching Sky Reader this fall. If you want to join me for 6 weeks of Be Your Own Astrologer, Time Your Best Life, live classes, Discord groups, Facebook groups to get together with other students, weekly coaching Q&A calls by me, forever access to the course content. You'll never lose it. In the description box below, that 6-week course is available for early bird registration in the sense that you can sign up for the discount code early bird notification. And you can also go look at the course description in general on my website. Those links are in the description box below. I believe I'm opening the enrollment on July 31st. It all depends on how I get my act together before then. And we start around September 13th. Okay, so let's get going. That's my ad, but this is my channel and I'll do what I want. I'm in a log cabin. I'm on a vacation. Yes, the content creation wheel never stops turning, but I don't mind doing this one. I love Mercury retrograde. I have big synchronicities and profound activations when he's in the heart of the sun. At the end of this video, in my outro, I'm going to share with you a magical story of what happened to me. Two amazing things when Mercury was in the heart of the sun. If it doesn't tickle your fancy to see the incredible, unlikely synchronicity that I encountered, then you must be depressed. Okay. So my stories will be at the end in about a 5-minute outro. Let's get started with the sky. Let me show you what it looks like. Now, here we go. Before I show you what it looks like, let me give you a couple of quotes by Gary Caton. He's an expert on Mercury retrograde. He's got a book about it called Triptycha, and he's a colleague and friend of mine. And I want you guys to know he's on Substack like I am. And if you want to go follow him and me there, we are happy to have you. We won't experience, and in my description box is my Substack column. We won't experience another Mercury retrograde in fire until 2030. So this final fiery retrograde invites us to reflect on the nature of fire itself, not just as a destructive or even vital force, but as a transformative, creative, and spiritual energy. Like the wands in the tarot, fire is a spiritual energy that calls us to seek our higher natures and to recreate. Now, I want to inspire you with that because that is the essence of this energy. When Mercury is in fire, when he is coming into the heart of the sun for a divine intelligence download. Now, I do have one more of his little quote somewhere in this hot mess on my back end. And here we go. I think I'm sharing. Am I? No. Let's see. Stop share. I was going to give you one more great Gary Caton quote. And I don't know where it went. So let me grab it off the back end and then I'll share it with you. And I have the most interesting, strange tech issues. Here we go. It's right there. Screenshot is open. All right, let's open her up. So this is another way of looking at Mercury retrograde. I've long said Mercury retrograde is not a problem. I'm just on the same page as Gary. It's a time of magic, of mystery, of synchronicity, of signs and omens and portents, of the dead talking to you, friends and family who are past, coming through the veil, so to speak. Mercury was not only a psychopomp, in other words, he ferried the souls of the dead after passing to the underworld, but he also could message people from the underworld. He was free to come and go from Pluto or Hades' underworld, and he had a great deal of license there. So Gary writes, as an alchemist, the inherent volatility of the retrograde represents not a problem to be avoided, but an opportunity to be seized. On the one hand, we have an opportunity to shake up those things which have become overly fixed, stale, or even stagnant. On the other hand, we can seek to take this volatile energy and fix it into place, perhaps seeking inspiration through creative or introspective exercises, but also even in daring acts of contrarian forwardness. Now, if anything's contrarian, it's Lucifer who broke all the rules in heaven and created a war. And we have Lucifer conjunct this particular sky on top of Mercury and Sun. Where do you want to be a rebel? Where do you want to break the rules? Where do you want to go against the grain, against the status quo? Lucifer energy can invite you to be that energy. Don't think about the devil or Satan. That's called the adversary in the Bible. And it's not what you think it is. So Lucifer, if there ever was a war in heaven, is simply a higher level being. Whether you agreed with his principles or why he caused a war, well, let's not. Jesus says, Satan, get thee behind me, not Lucifer. They're different energies. Now, one more thing to share, then the chart, and then your sign. Now, one of the things I love about my Mercury retrograde periods is my dreams are rich, informative, evocative, and deeply messaging me of what I need to know. But also, I notice that if I wander about the reality thing called this world, I'm having a lot more meaningful coincidences or synchronicities, opening doors of wonder and marveling and awe in my life. I hope you are as well. This is kind of what I wanted you to see, that I talked about the elemental fire year. This is a Gary Caton, premise from his book Triptycha. Hang on while I take a sip of my kaffir water. And you can see that in April of 24, Mercury did retrograde into the sun in Aries at 22 degrees of Aries. And also last summer, August 19th. at 26 degrees of Leo. Now, you all know that Donald Trump's ascendant is at 29 degrees and his Mars is at 26 degrees of Leo. This was a deeply activating placement for Donald Trump in August of 2024. He won the election in November of 2024. Mercury is the trickster. People didn't think he was going to win. Mercury rules ballots and ballot boxes. Mercury's sun on his Mars, on his ascendant. I know there's a great deal of Democrats out there, and I'm Canadian, I don't have a position here, that think that the election was stolen by Starlink, Elon Musk, and all of that. And yeah, I will say that Mars does represent thievery, and this conjunction happened on Mars. I am not saying that's what happened. And if you are a Republican right now, ready to unsubscribe, just rethink yourself. I'm just telling you what's going on in the sky. I'm not giving you my assertion or my opinion. It's just fascinating. Did Biden steal it, and was Stop the Steal a real thing? I have reason to believe some of that might have been actually true. So again, Canadian neutral sidelines, take a deep breath. On December the 6th, of course, we had the conjunction of the sun as Mercury retrograded in Sag at 14 degrees. Then in March 24th of 25, 4 degrees of Aries. Now I have my Mercury at 2.5 and my moon at 8. So it really hit my Aries, my moon. It really hit my Mercury, right? And I'll be doing something with that energy because it invited me to write. Mercury, moon, something I want to write that would be popular with the people. And since that March 24th Cazimi, I got in touch again with my agent Eileen, and she wants me to get this star and book proposal done. She's reached out to me last year from New York City. So it opened up another door for that opportunity. For example, now, because my Mercury moon is in the house of writing, I'm using me as an example. You'll notice that on July 25th, July 31st of 2025 at 9 degrees of Leo, here comes the last one of these babies. And then we will start to move, as you can see, into 25 and 26, an elemental water cycle where Mercury will retrograde in the water signs and conjuncting the sun in the water signs. What does this mean, guys, for you? What does it mean? Well, it certainly means if you are an air sign, sun, air sign, moon, or air sign rising, earth sign, no, sorry, fire sign, earth. No, fuck me, excuse my language. Oh my God, I just swore on my own YouTube channel. If you are a fire sign, Aries, Leo, or Sag, this is like 2017-18, a pivotal turning point in your life where you can recreate, investigate, be contrarian, break some rules. Mercury retrograde is retrograde, a rule-breaking energy, a maverick energy for all of our retrograde planets. They literally are going against the dominant motion of the heavens from the rotation of the earth. Therefore, you can simply say they're breaking rules anyway. So all of us Aries, all of us Leo, and all of us as Sagittarius, we're on. We won't get this again until 2030. So we may as well enjoy the ride. And technically speaking, this is the Leos who are getting the last act. Are you a Leo, sun, moon, and rising? It's your game to play. Is your sun, moon, or rising close to 9 degrees? Let's say 5 degrees on either side even. It's definitely really, really hitting home for you, right? So keep that in mind. Last year, as I said, it was the late degree Leos who really felt it more. That's important to know. The nation of Iran does have a Leo rising at 17 degrees of Leo. So that would be something that could impact them. And Palestine may or may not be 29 degrees of Leo based on one chart. And if that's the case, of course, last August, the same thing that impacted Donald Trump was impacting August of 2024, was also impacting the nation of Gaza/West Bank, Palestine. All right, so I'm taking that away, and we're going to go ahead and look at the sky. And we're going to talk today about what this might mean for the world, followed by what it might mean for you. Before we do, Asteroid Lucifer is on 00 degrees, Mercury 9 degrees, and the sun. And Lucifer, according to my software, which is asteroid number 1930, is a biblical fallen angel going against the status quo. ego and pride, getting carried away with self-importance, facing your inner darkness and bringing it to light. Interestingly enough, we also have a Sabian symbol about the morning dew. We all know the morning dew is fresh and clean and wondrous. And so we do have a beautiful, fresh beginning, new start, morning vibration where this is occurring, where Mercury goes into the heart of the sun at 9 Leo, the Sabian at 10 degrees of Leo. You always round up is the morning dew. Mercury conjunct Varuna as well, also 0 degrees conjunction, is the Hindu god of, and it's 20,000, so it's probably a trans-Neptunian, and it's a Hindu god of the oceans, reverence for a higher power, what one wants forever to be remembered by for one's legacy, urge for law and order that's more perfect than humanity's. Now, when we talk about a law and order that's more perfect than humanity's treacherously bad law and order, like when the ICC and the ICJ can't get anything done, you got to go, well, we have a broken law and order. This could be a call in world events to law and order in terms of things that have gone on with war crimes, for example. Now, on July 31st, around 7:44 p.m. in Washington, D.C., adjust for your time zone, Mercury is directly in the heart of the sun. For about 6 hours before and 6 hours after, you have a lot of magic for your own life. I would take the idea of that window of time, 6 hours before and 6 hours after, around 8 p.m. Eastern Daily Time, adjust for your time zone. And I would do things like vision board, journal, initiate something important in your life in the Leo whole sign house of your sky. There are ways to use this. Certainly emails, phone calls, and text messages coming in on July 31st may be very revealing, for every Mercury in the heart of the sun is revealing something that we may not have been aware of, not just in our dreams and our synchronicities, which it does, but also in world events and news stories. One thing that concerns me for the world is that we have a lot of funeral asteroids playing out here, as well as Shaula. Shaula, Mars. This is Alcade, I mean, not Shaula. I apologize. Alcade. I was thinking about Donald Trump's Fedaria, where he's going into a period in which he's activating his sun-moon period this fall, and he's going to activate the Scorpion stinger in his chart on his moon, which can impact his health. But that aside, Mars is on Alcade, a star of female mourners. This is not an easy star. In fact, my software, it's known as malefic or difficult, okay? It's associated with calamitous events and mass sorrow, and it denotes change and symbolizes the cyclical nature of life. Let go, meditate to achieve benefits. Well, that's just trying to make some lemonade from the lemons. It's a star of mass calamity, sorrow, and difficulty. I hope I was showing you the sky. I thought I was. Maybe I wasn't. And we'll make it big again. I think I was in there. And so where do you see that star right up here? Okay. That's the star. That's Mars. That's the south node. And I know there's another asteroid there, and that's another one about funerals. So we're going to talk about that asteroid. We're going to talk about Memoria, which is the place of Libra people's ascendant, including the nation of Israel. And we're also going to talk about the other asteroid for letting go through memorials or funeral services as well, sitting over here. So let me read those to you and we'll get done. But I think that there's still a possibility of a mass sorrow event. It could be climate related in Virgo, for example, with a energetic whole sign square from Uranus. So earthquakes, tsunamis, volcanoes, earthquakes, tsunamis, and volcanoes. So with all of this, okay, so for the week coming up here on the Cazimi of July 31st, as Mercury goes into the heart of the sun, we're going to notice that a energetic square from Uranus to this Cazimi could suggest some big news stories coming out, with Mars on the south node and the star of female mourners from calamitous and mass sorrow events. We could see a climate event. We could see a volcano. We could see an earthquake. We could see a tsunami. I can't tell you what it will be. And this could cause a sort of sense of the upwelling of asteroids like Memoria and Requiem, which have to do with funerals and loss of life, being a big story in our news cycle, probably any time between July the 24th and August the 1st. Let us see what happens. I'm not sure what else to say. That's what the sky suggests. Now, back to the world event picture. And then we're doing your sign. Some people said, don't stop the world events. Other people said, I don't like them. You can jump to your timestamps. They're in the description box below. You don't have to listen to the world event stuff. So that's all up to you. It's on you. Jupiter is on America, the asteroid. This is also on the dog star Sirius, where America, the asteroid, is sitting on July the 31st. This is where the sun of the United States of America sits. This is literally a very powerful spiritual and magical star, but it also brings success and fame. And the United States has its sun there. It was a choice by the alchemists / masons who created the United States of America. Now, over here, what I wanted to bring to your attention, as we see Mercury in the heart of the sun with a rule-breaking Lucifer and the arrogant pride of Lucifer, and Varuna, a higher order that is above humanity's standards, creation god Varuna, a new dew, a dewy energy, a morning dew for new beginnings. We see this asteroid up there as well. And this is Requiem. Requiem means a funeral service for somebody well known, or some kind of mass going to the funeral, let's say, okay, mass funeral services. And over here, we have another one of those asteroids next to Alcade, the star of female mourners, with Mars and the south node of loss. And this is grieve. There is something that people are grieving. This will come off of the Cazimi. It could show up before the Cazimi, but certainly I say anytime after July 26th to August 1st. And we will see what that is as time unfolds. Finally, the other asteroid in Libra is Memoria, like a memorial service, like a memory for someone, holding a memorial of some kind. Now, you'll notice that Memoria at 9 degrees of Libra nation, for example, would be Israel. But anyway, is that it's sextiling the Cazimi. So there is definitely enough evidence, in my view, to suggest a funeral, a memorial service, calamity, a calamitous event, and the star of female mourners, right? Women in mourning over something that's occurred in the world. Women mourn because women don't send their children to war. Women don't do that. Okay. So we, unless we are manized, unless we've been raised to be a warrior soldier, our default is protect and defend, not aggression. So what I'm going to do, I know you're going to argue with me. I know you will, but that is the default of the oxytocin and the hormonal structures of women versus testosterone rich males. Okay. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do your sign. We're going to spend 45 minutes together, probably. I'm going to go through your sign. I'm going to give you advice. I'm going to tell you what I would do if I were you. If I had this guy with Mercury in the heart of the sun in a fire sign in Leo and not being in that sign again till 2030, and at 2030-31, a series of new elemental fire creation, the spirit energy lifting up. What do you want to start new? What do you want to initiate? What do you want to take a leap of faith and begin like a fresh morning dew? That's the energy behind this Cazimi. Let us go Aries through to Pisces, and let's see what we get. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, and check my description box below. That's where you find my Patreon community. I've got lots of stuff going on over there, and it's quite affordable. That's where you'll find information about my Pluto Chronicles at Substack. Somehow I got trending number 22 and bestseller number 30. I keep getting all this great response over there. And you can also find me on Patreon, Substack. I know I'm forgetting something. I'm all over the place. Of course, I don't here on YouTube. Let's get going. Oh, my Cosmic Moonshine newsletter as well. Weekly forecast written by me, not by AI. All right, so let's go ahead and start with Aries, shall we? Okay, so we're starting with my sign. I have a sun and moon and a Mercury there. My Aquarius rising, and let's get going. Aries, sun, moon, and rising sign. Number one, this elemental fire season is going to be over till 2030, and you had it in 2017, 18, and again last year and this year. Major new beginnings and fresh starts in your life. in 2017-18, I started studying Hellenistic astrology, and by the end of 2018 had begun my YouTube channel. This literally is a kind of refresh, reset button that's back in 2024-25 for all Aries people. Your sun sign is about your career, your moon is about your home and home needs, and your rising sign is your simulation avatar character and has a lot of circumstantial change associated with it. Now, as you look at the sky, you're going to notice that Mercury is in your fifth house, Leo, as he was last August in the heart of the sun. This is an intense energy of reboot, restart, and refresh. If you have Aries sun or moon or rising anywhere near that degree, like my moon at 8 degrees of Aries, it trines that part of your chart. It trines your moon, it trines your sun, it trines your ascendant accurately, specifically, and precisely. And therefore, it's even more powerful. But all Aries feel it nonetheless. You're still getting over a chironic wound hangover about your identity that started in 2019. You got Neptune and Saturn here giving you a chance to make your dreams real, but you have to get through the fog of illusion and confusion. And sober-minded Saturn's trying to see the real versus the illusory. And as you're engaging in this new energy, here we have Mercury. He's got some message for you. There's a rule-breaking angel in the mix. There's a higher order of creation, Varuna. There's something you wish to create from a creator god itself. What is it that you wish to leave a legacy of in this life that is about the following: pregnancy, fertility, children, romantic sexual love, things to do with creating like books and projects and art and acting and music. The arts and the muse are here, as well as entrepreneurial businesses as well. All of these creations, birthing and rebirthing and procreative and creative energies are activated. They were last August, they are again. Something fresh, like a morning dew, is wanting to start for you. My advice to you is pay specific attention to how you are going to receive the energy on July the 31st. I've got the calendar set, as you'll see, to July the 30th, because it's just because I'm progressing it forward. But it is happening on July the 31st around 8 p.m. Eastern Daily Time. As you get 6 hours before and after that time, you might find yourself capable of a kind of deep inner knowing about what brings you joy, what brings you deep and profound inspiration and enthusiasm, play and pleasure and fun. You know, these Leo stories, like in 1718, are here to spark the inner child, the wonder, the awe, the magic of life. And I can remember 2017-18 feeling that way as I discovered the joys of Hellenistic astrology. If you are somebody who wants to do something that's a natural talent or gift, you were born with the skill set for it. This is the fifth house. We call it hobbies. It's not hobbies. It's your naturally born, came in this way, gifts and talents. Mercury, a new morning dew on the Sabian symbol, showing you the way to express these talents, to discover and open up these gifts. If I were you, I would do something creative or artistic during that time. I would write an article. I would write a poem. I would start a painting. I would sketch something. I would apply for the acting job. I would, I would schedule the, what do you call that thing when you do a audition? I would lean into this story. I would go on that first romantic date. You could meet a profound, powerful soulmate, friend, character off of this story. And it may surprise and shock you the way you fall fast and madly in love. Thank you, Uranus sextiling Mercury. So it's a lot of energy around the inspiration and the excitement and the enthusiasm. I call the fifth house why I get out of bed in the morning. And Mercury is going to give you a fresh start here. And it can really revitalize you. The sun in Leo in the fifth house is like vitality, life force energy shining back at you and giving you a really beautiful glow up. Now I'm going to open the window in this cottage because it's sweating hot in here. Give me a sec. I swear it is warm in here. I'm not having just, hot flashes, guys. It is summer. I'm in Nelson, British Columbia. It's a beautiful area of Canada, and happy to actually first time ever be here. On a vacation doing a video for you. How come I can't see it? Okay, moving on to Taurus. And don't forget, it's about magic. It's passionate energy for you guys, Aries, but you could even get those synchronicities, phone calls, and text messages coming through from your children, your lovers, vis-a-vis matters to do with creativity and your projects. Again, first date, sure. Knock your socks off? Absolutely. You could fall madly in love on dating apps or something at this time. On July the 31st, around 8 p.m., Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising, Mercury will be in the heart of the Sun at 9 degrees of Leo. That rounds up to 10 Sabian symbol, a morning dew, a new start and a fresh beginning to do with home, property, land, real estate, where you live, and your private life. This is also full of enchantment and synchronicity. You had one version of it last August and on the 19th, and here comes another one. These intensities last weeks ahead, up to 6 weeks ahead. It unfolds fresh new beginnings, information, and news around the matters I just discussed. Now, in 2017-18, there were all kinds of fire stories going on throughout 12, 4, and 8 in your chart. Those are the houses that were impacted. But can you go back in time and say in 2017-18, did you buy or sell or start something new or get some kind of major growth edge on real estate, property, home, and land? I bet some of you can go back and think, oh yeah, I did do that. Changes of home, even. My daughter, Taurus Sun, went off to university in 2018. It's exactly the fourth house change of home. Now, Mercury is bringing a lot of synchronicity and magic in a house that is the midnight hour, the darkest part of the sky. I would suggest that you guys get to bed, tucked into bed early, and start dreaming. Mercury is in the midnight hour on July 31st. And if you were to dream into the midnight hour, then you might find yourself going to bed on July 30th and beginning to experience magical dreams, including on July the 31st, and go to bed and wake up the next day, August 1st. 2 nights of dreaming could be incredibly powerful. Phone calls, text messages, emails coming out of the blue regarding matters to do with property, negotiations, deals, land, selling, buying. Things may be that were hidden from your view, that you weren't sure about or didn't know about, may come to you at this time. A creation god of the Varuna people with a law and order higher than humanity's, a bigger justice can be dispensed if you've had any wrongdoing to do with matters of property, land, and real estate, including legacy wealth. Now, I don't want you to panic when I say this. This is a general bell curve astrology reading. However, because you have Venus on a wealth star, Betelgeuse, with Jupiter ruling your 8th house of inheritances and the 4th house representing family of origin money. Some of you may get some news that you're going to inherit some money coming in the 6 weeks that follow this reset button. Maybe from father figures, it is a solar conjunction, but from anywhere. Especially when you have one of the asteroids for the end of life right here, right? Like we have Memoria, Requiem, and all of that. So which one was this? I can never remember. That's Requiem. So there may be, a literal funeral energy going on just for some of you, right? Obviously, not everybody. It could be Grandpa Joe. It could be Great Uncle Sam. It could be, anybody that could bequeath some money to you in this particular sky. Especially with the gains of the family of origin, Mars South Node, female mourners, and another asteroid for funerals, right? This one being Requiem. I can't even remember them anymore. Anyway, trust me on that. Requiem, I should remember these, but in my intro, grieve. Okay, so let's go on and also ask, is it time for you in this sky, Taurus, to separate away from somebody in your home? Because your children often live in your home until they leave the nest. And you just might be sad that you're moving away from your children, or your children are moving away from you under this kind of sky. But Mercury's offering you a new beginning and a fresh start. And that is what's exciting with that morning dew and the creation energy of fire. And this kind of sense of what is it you want to create now in your home life, in your everyday home life. Uranus gives you some surprises financially. It's possible that you're going to have some positive news about money to do with things to do with your home or your family of origin coming through this Cazimi. Now, I'm giving every sign a bit of advice. And if I have anything for you, it'd be more like, why don't you, as I said, go to bed early enough on the 30th and 31st to capture some of this incredible, powerful energy, especially the night of the 31st, where Mercury could be dispensing important information through the midnight hour of sleep and dreaming. All right. You could burn the midnight oil and do journaling as well if you want, or tune into your inner thoughts. There's a lot of ways you could harness this energy for sure. And a lot of support from Saturn, Neptune here too, to break away and have fresh starts, to release yourself in surprising, shocking, and sudden ways from addictions and self-undoing, especially substance misuse disorders or escapist habits and patterns. And this Mercury could deliver a massive breakthrough with that energy here as well. Now, if you're a Gemini, sun, moon, and rising sign, Mercury, the messenger, is the ruler of your sign. And so it's extremely important when he goes in 6 times a year into the heart of the sun. From retrograde, he's even more insistent, more magical, and more all over you, and is coming into the heart of the sun with a message for you on a new, fresh, dewy morning energy in the 3rd house of writing, communicating. Sometimes you sell and market here. Sometimes you learn a skill or teach a skill. Sometimes here you travel, and sometimes you just hang out with the neighbors or the childhood friends, people you knew in elementary and high school, go into that 3rd house type of friendships. And there's a lot in that cadent junk drawer. You know, it's your everyday life. As Adam Ellenbus says, it's a swish bowl, the fish bowl in which you swim. And so it's like, you know, I go to the store, I go to the grocery store, I go to the gas station, right? So your everyday environment, your neighborhood, and your neighbors, and your siblings as well, especially the one younger than you. There may be information, news, phone calls, texts coming through the Cazimi with a little bit of a revelation, of a surprise, the nature of something you weren't seeing or didn't know. And the surprise is doubled down on by Uranus. And Uranus is, you are breaking free of molds. You are, as a Gemini, no longer holding to ways of being for you rising signs, ways of doing your career for your sun, ways of being in your home and home life for your moons and Gemini. You're breaking free and out of a constriction, a straitjacket, a mold with Uranus in your sign. And it's talking to Mercury, who's also with a rule-breaking angel. So you're going to sort of bust out, break free, cut through the status quo, do it your way. For all of those Geminis who are writers at all, Mercury is in a writing house. And it would really serve you to really focus on projects to do with communication and writing, if it's of interest to you. Certainly Pluto in the 9th house of book publishing over the next 18 years could succeed for you in that area as well, says a girl with a progressed Gemini sun, and she's trying to write a book proposal for her agent. I relate. One of the things about this guy to notice is that Mercury is also sitting here in a relationship to the South Node Mars that he's a ruler of. He rules that South Node and Mars. I should get rid of the midheaven there. Sorry, I don't know. I had it in there for the world events and where this happened. Let's declutter the sky. So I'm kind of lightly touching on the fact that even though Mercury's doing 3rd house matters, there's a side story going on in his Virgo 4th house. And with a star of female mourners and an asteroid requiem and South Node Mars, there's a possible family matter that may capture your attention with a loss or a passing maybe of a family member. That is a possibility in the sky. And if that happens, of course, that's just the way life rolls. It's nobody's, people don't stick around forever. And a broad square from Uranus could mean it was unexpected or surprising to you. Now, Mercury's not giving you that. He's happening to occur alongside that. Mercury's giving you that email, that phone call, that text, that insight, that idea, that writing project communications insight. On the day of the Cazimi, I have some suggestions for all Geminis. Write the email, set the sales page up, publish the social media post that matters to you, phone call, email, or text somebody of great importance to you in the world of social media, writing, communicating. Mercury can represent an agent. Maybe I should email my agent Eileen that day. Mercury Might also mean a phone call, text, or email from a sibling, and particularly one younger than you, will happen anyway. But you can also plant the seeds for success by choosing 6 hours before and after the 8 p.m., roughly 8 p.m. Eastern Daily Time, perfect Cazimi. Those, window, like the yoke of the event is around 8 p.m., but the 6 hours before and after are extremely magical. And so planting seeds in that window of time can be extremely auspicious. I kind of like it better on the other side, really. So after 8 p.m., add 6 hours on Eastern Daily Time is a good auspicious election. And you might activate an important new beginning in the third house. Lastly, travel and trips belong to the third house. And this is on Thursday next week, of course. And some of you might be well, I'm recording the week before. Some of you may be traveling. Some of you may be on the road. But if you wanted to take a trip, Mercury is the protector of travelers on the road. And so planning a trip or taking a trip short distance on the Cazimi can be really auspicious as well. But news of a trip opportunity may come up as well. And Mars's south node is in the home and homeland house. So if you've moved away from your home or homeland, some of you may have to go back to your home and homeland to deal with some sort of funeral type event. Not everybody. It could simply mean it's time to let go of your home, to release it, to surrender it for some reason. Maybe a move will come off of this in the 6 weeks that follow, but the move will be planned or thought of in that time. What if you are you as a Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising? What is the sky suggesting for you? Well, there's a lot to say here, but Mercury, like back in 2017, 18, please watch my intros, like last summer and this summer, is spending a lot of time in air signs going retrograde and here fire signs going retrograde. And here he is in the heart of the sun in Leo, like he was last August 19th, trying to reset a financial matter for you. So it is possible, Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. You can go back to last August and see some financial boost in your story or some financial reset. Having Mercury on the morning dew suggests an innocence and a fresh start and a new morning, a new dawn is arising in your money story. It also connects you very strongly to a rule-breaking angel and a creation god, Varuna. What do you want to create that busts out of the rules and gets you right in the thick of it, of how you're going to restart and regenerate something fresh in you in the way that you are earning your money. Certainly with a whole sign trine to Saturn, Neptune, it indicates your career matters are really focused on in terms of where that money is coming from. Some surprises from backroom deals and negotiations, some surprises from distant shore people and far off lands, some surprises in the kind of money that can come from digital income and borderless revenue could show up for you with Uranus in your 12th house as well. Now, the emails, phone calls, and text messages may very much revolve around money, job, work, and career matters at this time. And it's always with the Cazimi, a revelation and insight, some news that sheds light on something you didn't see, but you're getting a divine headquarters mission instructions pamphlet from this story, right? You're getting the divine solar system intelligence unit telling you what you're going to do here. And in the 6 weeks that follows the Cazimi in general, you can see the lay of the land. You know what it's for. It's a new beginning in money and earnings, resources, and possessions. With Mars being with the South Node and the star of female mourners, and Mercury having dominion over that story, right? Mercury is the lord of the Virgo sky. There are two things happening today in our sky on July 31st. There may be some event that requires you to pay attention to a situation with an extended family member or relative. They may be in mourning. They may be going through something difficult. It doesn't mean you are mourning, because the mourning female mourners star and the asteroid requiem is in the sky for them. So a sibling, aunt, uncle, cousin is going through a difficult experience, mourning a loss of some sort. And you can just note that it may be information, phone calls, and texts and emails coming to you from or about those extended family members. This includes the neighbors and childhood friends. So pay attention to that story. It may come for you, and grab your attention and need some time from you energetically. Especially if it goes back to childhood, home and homeland, which most relatives, siblings, childhood friends do, and your attention is drawn there. And it's not good nor bad, it just is. Okay, not good nor bad, it just is. All said and done, if I was you, I would set down a manifesto of what you desire to earn in life, what your worth is, what your values are around money. I would look for the Cazimi of July 31st around 8 p.m. Eastern Daily Time, when it's exact, to be very much a magical portal. And what you would do with that, I would vision board myself. This is very much houses 2 and 10, Artha houses, to do with material prosperity and manifestation of what you want in money and possessions and all the things of life. So a vision board where a collage, you collage your visions of what you desire, or write them down in a free association journal mode, like the artist way, or maybe even just write a list of what you desire and want in your material prosperity realm, and let your sort of pen flow and see what's revealed to you here. Mercury is channeling the sun, channeling divine intelligence in money, possessions, and self-worth. By the way, teeth, getting dental work, things to do with your face and teeth can be your second house, and you may have a divine download or information or a phone call or text from the dentist coming through the Cazimi, but it's deeper than that, because your second house is your voice, your vocation, your calling in life. And you might be getting some deep insights into that. If you go back to 17 and 18, my Cancer rising sister retired in 2018. That was Mercury in her earnings house, right? Now, what new fresh starts will she be making in the way she earns money, for example? Just using my sister as an example. All right, I'm having issues with my mouse. Leo, sun, moon, and rising sign. So remember the basics. Watch the intro, please. Mercury's going into the heart of the sun, like he did in 2017, 18, and also last year, 2024. Next time it's 2030, 31, where all this energy piles up in the fire signs. This retrograde is in Leo. Of course, it's your sign. It's very important for you. And Mercury has divine messages from divine headquarters via the sun. You are a walking antenna. Hello, this is Lori. Well, you can't make this stuff up. We're talking astrology and messages from Mercury. And I get a call that I finally got an appointment from a referral for a dermatologist and no, I'm not having plastic surgery. Canada's like, you want to go see a dermatologist for anything, like a mole or something, and you wait 3 or 4 months to get even the referral through. Yes, guys, our free healthcare doesn't always work great. So all I can say, guys, is you are Leo. You are getting divine messages. You are the heart of the story. What are you receiving? Is it a new career, Leo sun, new fresh starts and new beginnings in your home life, Leo moons, where you live, or your rising sign, any fresh starts to do with anything to do with your identity and what you think you want? Break the rules. Lucifer's here. Creation god Varuna is here. Find something new that you wish to create that leaves a legacy that allows you to feel meaning and purpose in life, that you're leaving something positive behind. The Cazimi is going to occur at exactly 8 p.m. on the energy of the 31st. You can tune in around that time for the messages you need to receive, but phone calls, text messages, and emails can be arriving on your doorstep on the 31st, and they may be of great import for you. They may have some really significant raison d'etre. There is something going on in your second house where you might have to kind of surrender and release some kind of income source, and maybe in a surprising and shocking way. Yet there is something new and better you want to dream into being here, because you are able to, with support from Mercury and Uranus in your 11th house, have a new vision, a goal, or a dream for the long range, long plan of your career path. Surprising developments that impact you positively from allies, benefactors, and an elder sibling are in the sky as well. Now, sometimes when we see this Mars South Node in the second house, it's dental work, it's teeth, it's something about your face, and Mercury rules that. So information, news about your face, you need a filling, you need to have something done on your mouth or teeth. Mars rules pulling the teeth out, surgery, dental surgery, all of that. This could be just news about something to do with face or dental stories as well. Your family in general in Vedic astrology belongs to the second house with the star of female mourners, Alkate, and asteroid Requiem here. There may be something going on in your extended family, your mom, your dad, everybody you know, where you're looking at a situation of someone's going through a hard time. Somebody's going through some grieving, mourning. Someone is losing somebody in the bigger family story. It's not you. It's not your story. It's around you. Look for that to unfold, maybe on the Cazimi news or information about that, or in the 6 weeks that follow as well. More information, more news coming through. Ultimately, you can break rules. I want to say Lucifer was a status quo rule breaker, and he was created a war in heaven. Don't diss the guy, okay? I think that the main god in heaven was actually a demon. So well said and done. Maybe he was the good guy, but having this energy of what you want to do in your life differently. You're not going to hold to the way it's done. You don't have to follow the old recipe. And so ask yourself in your career matters, Leo sun, about your identity, Leo rising, or your home life and family members and your homestead, how you want to bust free, break some rules, and do it your own way. Of course, be careful for pride. It doth come us before the fallen angels fall, but you still have this kind of, I did it my way, Frank Sinatra energy coming through the sky with divine downloads and divine information, especially with support from the Dharma house where Saturn and Neptune are. Gosh, gracious goodness. That's a very positive flow coming at this Cazimi, and information or news may come through that puts you deeply in alignment with meaning, purpose, and your soul's path in this lifetime, even if it means quitting a job, which some of you under this kind of sky are likely to do. Hope that was enough, Virgo. Okay, now we have the Virgo sun, moon, and rising. Well, first of all, you are Mercury ruled, as are Geminis, and you have a really big deal in the house of unconscious dreams at night, things that come through when you're meditating or in a trance state. This 12th house is backroom deals and negotiations as well, with surprises in your career. Something pops out of the blue. Some people are working on your behalf. You have a new career opportunity. Pick up the phone, get the text messages, pay attention to July 31st, especially 6 hours before and after the 8 p.m. Cazimi. Also, we do have Requiem, and we do have Memoria, and we do have name of the asteroid, Grieve. There's a strong thing that says perhaps, maybe. Okay, there is somebody father figure style that may encounter a difficult circumstance. They may be in a hospital or isolation setting. There may be some personal grieving going on over some situation or person or thing in your life. Now, I can't tell you what it is. The sky is uniquely yours to discover, but you are the one with the grieving energy and the star of female mourners. And what do you need to release, surrender, and let go in your life? You may not have to let go of a person. The 12th house is self-undoing, addictions, substance misuse disorders, patterns, and all of that. And maybe you finally come to terms with it's time to let go. Memoria, a memorial service for what you put in your mouth that isn't good for you. Honestly, that can be just what I'm seeing. But there's a small possibility of unexpected developments, father figures, and grieving, hospitals. Father figures don't mean dad. Might be grieving for great uncle Sam or something. I'm just giving you a possibility. All said and done, just like 2017-18, just like 24-25, there's a profound reset button in your 12th house. And it is where you do yourself no service. You sabotage here. So you're getting some shift of direction, a new dawn, a new dewy morning is here, a new fresh start. And you Virgo sun, it's about your career. Rising is about your identity. And of course, Virgo moons, it's about your home life. Libra, sun, moon, and rising. I have only half an hour left. Let's get rolling. Mercury's in the heart of the sun, and he's doing that in the 11th house of good spirit. He was here last August 19th. He was here in the summer of 17 and 18. Those 17, 18, and last year and this year are initiations of new beginnings with divine inspiration and downloads. in the house of the long range goals and dreams you have for your life, your friendship circles, groups of belonging, benefactors, allies, sibling one older. Now, you get this house for dreams and wishes, right? And Mercury is information and guidance from the divine intelligence. So really pay attention to, if you had a fairy godmother, what would you ask for? And let Mercury tell you what you should ask for, basically. And it's a really good time for you to use this energy on the 31st, around 8 p.m. Eastern daily, 6 hours before and after, to do that vision board, to write down what you desire, to put a wish list and a bucket list together. And let's see where it takes you. You might be surprised what comes through, what inspires you that you didn't even imagine was possible. This could also bring you news from those friends, benefactors, allies, and elder sibling for phone calls, texts, and emails. This could bring you new openings and opportunities to be in groups of belonging, speaking, or communicating. This could put you in front of audiences if that's something you want to do. You might break some rules, but you also have a creation god, and you're wanting to leave a legacy and create something that lasts beyond your life. So that's the energy you're putting into these longer goals and dreams and towards the gains of your career. Hey, and with Jupiter at the top of the sky, you're lucky, so lucky. Anyway, at the time of the Cazimi, Venus is still conjunct Betelgeuse, a well star. Your career should be going pretty swell. Now, Mercury gets a surprise jolt from the 9th house, so you could end up receiving some unexpected information from a spiritual guide, a counselor, a therapist, a guru, or something to do with international, foreign lands and travel and career and surprise and news and information coming through this Cazimi for the phone call, text, emails, and all of that. So I don't know, Mercury has to deal with a problem in the 12th house. It is like requiem and female mourners and loss and letting go. It's a house of hospitals, but it's also a house of spiritual surrender. Possibly you may have a friend of some sort or an elder sibling in difficult circumstances with their health off of the sky like this, and that's a possibility as well. And you might notice that close to the Cazimi, July 31st. May play out in the weeks that follow, but it definitely might be more in the immediate term. That story is in your face and you're paying attention to it. With Memoria in your sign, you might be, having memories of somebody, really pondering and thinking about them in a kind of a memorial way, right? And with Mercury in the house of friends, and there's potential that there's something going on regarding a friendship and some sort of loss, whether it's literal or metaphor, like a loss of connection, or they're losing their own mortal coil, so to speak. I can't say for sure. And we all have more than one friend, so just take a pill and don't stress about it. Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising sign. Well, first of all, Mercury is in the heart of the sun, where he's going to give you information about your career purpose. This is the house of weddings as well. But, all said and done, you could take wedding vows on a Mercury Cazimi. That would be very interesting. But it's all about your career space and, contracts, agreements, negotiations, deal making, information and news, work. This is a story for you on this Cazimi. It may have impacted you last year, August 19th, also in the summer of 2017 and 18. Similar stories played out. It's kind of interesting to see a rule-breaking angel up there, and as well, creation god who says, leave a legacy, leave something of value, and requiem. Requiem is about funerals. Now, the 10th house is one of the houses that represents fathers and father figures. And there is a news story up there, and there is a requiem, the old funeral story. Possibly, maybe there is going to be that story playing out in your life. However, also you'll notice you could be also coming to in terms with the end, like a requiem, a funeral for an old job, or moving away from some work situation that doesn't serve you, because you also have South Node Mars in the 11th house of career gains. The way you make the careers and your goals and dreams are changing, and something wants to be released, surrendered, and let go, maybe even mourned. It was for a reason, season, and time. That career gains path, that money, earnings, reputation path doesn't really suit or fit you anymore. And you may have had a little bit of feeling of that last summer, but it's even stronger because Mercury is opposite Pluto, and all of the intensity is really, really happening regarding a profound change of direction and purpose in career, beyond just changing a job, maybe even changing a whole professional direction. Sort of Saturn is helping you stabilize this intensity through work, right? Work and service, but I see some changes in your work here for sure. For many of you, it could be obvious on the July 31st Cazimi, but it may take up to 6 weeks to give you a real clarity. Look for shocking or unexpected financial chunks of money coming to you from father figures, or even severance packages or sign-on bonuses or commission checks in the work environment that are surprising, maybe you, and you didn't expect it in some way. To use the Cazimi on the 8 p.m. on the 31st, 6 hours before and after, you might find yourself really liking or wanting to tune in to your inner psychological landscape with that Uranus, and really focus on if you if you're going to leave something behind as a legacy, what would you want to leave behind? Like, what do you want your children and grandchildren to remember you for when it comes to how you express purpose and career in this life? Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising sign. I hope I can get done in the next 15 minutes. We have a Mercury Cazimi in your ninth house of God. This is a house where you are going to find yourself leaning into purpose, meaning, true north, and dharma. You want to be aligned with your life's path. And Mercury is giving you information about how to do that. You might get phone calls, emails, and texts, though, from foreign people, far off lands, legal and court matters, higher education and universities coming through your sky, or from your spiritual advisor. With Mercury at the top of the sky and some asteroids for things like Requiem, and then your 10th house, also another one, grieving. There is something about grieving, letting something go. You could let go of that career path that doesn't serve you, way off purpose. You could let go of a marriage situation. Uranus says surprisingly easy to do that, perhaps, but still some sorrow and grief around it. And maybe even you're going to sort of have a nostalgic memorial energy going on for some of the dreams and goals you had, and now you have to let them go and you have to start something new. With Mercury here, and if I was advising you, I would be tuned into spiritual teachings. I would be reading on the Cazimi, your Bhagavad Gita or your Eckhart Tolle or something like that. Or I would tune in to whatever you call wisdom, whatever you think is true knowledge, whatever is your spiritual soul food. That's where you want to go on the Cazimi, because ultimately Mercury is in the house of God, and it is a place of spiritual transformation. It's between the worlds, it's metacosmos energy, and it is where you can get like angelic guidance, deep, profound insights and information that can really support you moving perhaps away from a life path or direction or a marriage situation. It really isn't right, and it wasn't right for you. And there's something new, this calling you, something deeper and more true. And this certainly can bring opportunities for long distance foreign travel, information from people in those lands, and things to do with pilgrimages as well. Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising sign. Mercury is in the heart of the sun in your 8th house. This is chunky money, and it also has to do with the occult mysteries. I talk to dead people. How about you? Mercury here can have information from the dead. This is where you want to pay attention to your dreams. If you go book a medium on the 31st, go for it. The doors will be wide open for that kind of information coming to you, but certainly you can get it through your dreams at night as well. So be very attentive to the sense that your passed on loved ones are trying to reach you in this Cazimi, as they may have been doing last August 19th, also as they may have done in 2017-18. Chunky money is here. Mercury is Mr. Negotiator, Mr. Abacus, accounting the money, organizing it, that kind of financial energy. We have a prideful angel that fell, right? So be careful, broke some rules, fell from heaven. And we also have the energy of a creation God with a justice higher than humanities. Well, you might be coming to some financial karmic justice. Now, that could work in your behalf if money is justly due or owed you. Uranus says, surprise, it's back. So if you are in a situation where you deserve or justly deserve something financially, a surprise may be in store for you on the Cazimi, in the day of the Cazimi, or even up to the 6 weeks that follow. Now, there is inheritance money that often comes off the 8th house. And with Saturn, Neptune, Chiron in the 4th, perhaps some legacy wealth is coming to you, but from left field, a direction you weren't seeing it coming. a direction you didn't count on for some reason. Another thing that can happen with this Cazimi, and I like this, is that you can definitely channel. So don't like leave it up to, the surface level of reality. You want it with that trine to Neptune, draw in deep, profound inner knowing, channel truth through you, as you, by you, come into contact with non-ordinary perception psychically as well. You have it. We all have it. This is a very open the doors of psychic ability. Didn't have this last year in August, didn't have it in 17, 18. So any Cappies out there thinking that they're wanting to talk to the dead or they have psychic abilities, clairaudience, sentience, and all of that, this is your 2 thumbs up Mercury Cazimi to wake that up inside of you. You'll get it back in 3031, but why not grab it now? Phone calls, text messages, and emails coming through about money matters, especially money you share with other people, inheritance money, share spousal resources, and more. Alrighty. South Node, Mars in the 9th house, you need to let go, release, surrender, something 9th house. Maybe give it a burial, a funeral, a mourning. It can be letting go of a spiritual belief, a tradition, a long distance travel plan, letting go of a third marriage, someone who's your third marriage partner, no longer right for you, letting go of matters to do with spiritual belief and philosophy, letting go of something up there in the 9th house. Release, surrender, let go, put it to bed, grieve it, and you're moving on. It's time to leave it behind. Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising sign. And I am one of you. We have this in our, like we had in 1718 and also last summer, August 19th. And here we are again, a Cazimi in our 7th house of marriage. Now, marriage, long distance partnership, long-term partnership, business partnerships, the public, the marketplace, the audience that we serve from our 10th house of career. This Cazimi is really important if you're in a relationship because information, news, insights, or conversations in and about that relationship are coming through this July 31st Cazimi. We do have a rule-breaking energy. We have a creation god. We have the morning dew for something fresh and new. But we also have the asteroid requiem, like a funeral. And then we even see the asteroid grieve in the Mercury-ruled Virgo next door. So loss and surrender, the gains of the 7th. The gains of the 7th are the monies and assets you share with a significant other, for example. It's also your in-laws. And so there's a possibility of grieving the loss of an in-law. An in-law could pass on this kind of sky, or a loss of those in-laws because the relationship is separating. You won't see those in-laws, that kind of thing, because you're moving apart from some significant relationship. Now, you don't have to move apart. There just could be a lot of information, news, conversation, something important happening there. Legal contracts, agreements, and deals are 7th house vows, not just marriage. And so Mercury likes to make a deal. And Uranus says, I'm in the house of children. I'm in the house of entrepreneurship. I'm in the house of creative projects. So there's a kind of let's make a deal surprise coming through. It could have to do with writing, communicating, marketing, and selling, and opportune, lucky offers connected to work. And so a deal being presented to you on the Cazimi is a possibility. How would you actually harness this? Well, I would invite conversation with a significant person in my life. I would say this is an incredible window of time, but you could also have insights, or they may, into the nature of the union, what the relationship is for, and what is the, deeper story behind it all. Finally, Mercury is in the house of the audience, clients, and others that you intersect. And possibly, you'll get that phone call, email, or text from somebody that you would call a client, a customer, but pay attention to the 31st, because whatever that is, it's not an everyday story. There's something more important about it. You'll know because it will have a feeling from the Cazimi of being like direct from divine headquarters, right? Through a person, like God speaks to you. So it may be incidental, right? You just happen to connect to one of your hundreds of clients' emails like I have, and it's the one you needed to read, or, something goes on in the audience public space of your life where you meet the public and it's like a really intense energy. Last August 19th, I'll use me as an example, is when, in 2018, I had all this viral content going on in my channel when I was talking about ascension waves and stuff like that. And that was the summer of 2018. And then last August, I was coming off predicting the Trump near assassination attempt, and my channel blew up. mid-August, August 15th through to the end of August, because people found out that I'd predicted that about 10 days before it happened. So that kind of vibe is here for me as an Aquarius. It could be a nice like burst of something good in that part of the chart to do with audience and public. So if those of you are like me, you might have something similar going on. I don't know about the angel there. He does break the rules. He is very shiny and bright, but he also has pride goeth before the fall. So be careful you don't get too high on your own success horse if you're one of my Aquarians. And we're listening for Aquarius sun, it's your career, rising, it's anything about your life, and your moon matters connected to your home and home life. Alrighty? And at last, on my vacation, I'm finalizing the story with Pisces, sun, moon, and rising sign. So Pisces, Mercury's in the heart of the sun, dispensing divine headquarters info, like he did in summer of 17, summer of 18, like August of 24, and here he is again. In my intro, I explained this to you. Go back and watch how powerful this is. This is work. This is health. This is matters to do with pets and rental properties, matters to do with debts, literal and like financial and karmic. Mercury has information or news to give you here. So your phone calls, texts, and emails should be paid attention to for sure. Now, because he's also with a rule-breaking angel doing it his way, and he's also connected to the creation god, Varuna, who has wants to leave a legacy and do something important, but also wants to that there's a higher power than divine justice at work. These energies are here for you. And interestingly, with Uranus in your fourth house, and this being also about rental properties or home and homeland, there may be some surprising or shocking situations with your childhood, home and homeland, perhaps a sibling 3 older than you, that are connecting the dots around debts, indebtedness, finances, home, property, real estate, and phone calls, text messages, and emails. Your marriage house has got a south node, Mars, let go, release, surrender, a long-term committed love story. May be difficult right now. There may be some mourning going on, and there may be some kind of like grieving going on with grieve there. If there's a letting go and surrendering or releasing, Mercury's also sitting in the house of karmic debts. Sometimes karmic debt relationships need to close out. It's kind of like end of the story. It's just what it is, right? I'm sorry about that. And you don't have to, overly grieve it. Like, it's more of a Venus is on nostalgia. I didn't put her there. Nostalgia around romantic love. So some of you might be in a state of releasing, surrendering a situation to do with romantic love, long-term committed love, ending something there. How I would use this is that Mercury says, if you're looking for work, if you need some kind of financial assistance through employment, the flow to Saturn and Neptune could indicate opportunities from your past coming through, usually through the transom of, your digital communications devices. Some of you still might get snail mail. I don't know. But however this arises, you might get that email or phone call or that headhunter or that LinkedIn notice, and some kind of financial work opportunity emerges here. Or you may choose or decide, Mercury can help you do that, to go back to doing some work or livelihood that you've done in the past. In this case, you could also have extreme success if you're doing it in and from your home, or if it involves technology or the online world. A male figure in your life, Mars, letting go, surrendering, grieving, female mourner. So there may be the loss of a male figure in your life, and the news and information may come through the house of karmic debt relationships. But real life debt and indebtedness may be involved in the story as well. So that's what I have for you. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a video. A quick outro. In 2019, month of May, Mercury was in the heart of the sun. And I can't remember if he was retrograde or direct, but I woke up from a dream. I was pulled out of my sunroof of my car, Mercury with the sun, right? And taken to talk to God. And I woke up and I heard a voice in my head. It said, to hear the voice of God, you must listen with the ears of your soul. And I wrote a book called The Coming Age of Miracles. And the other one after it, The Way of Miracles, in 2019, all from that Cazimi. I've never published it. You can get it if you want. I'll put the link in the description box below. I'll try to remember. It's just a PDF download. And I channeled the voice of God. And the second thing that happened on another Cazimi was in January of 2000 and 20, yes, just before the pandemic was known to be a real problem, early January, there was a Cazimi of Mercury in the heart of the sun. That would have been Capricorn season. So we were in the Earth series, and and he would have been retrograde, I believe. And it wasn't a dream. I got up that morning of the Cazimi and I was journaling, and I heard another voice talking, like I was channeling, and it's like, this was Hermes Trismegistus, the ancient magician with the Ankh, Thoth. And he wanted to tell me a story about the children of Adam and the children of light. And I started to channel 2 or 3 chapters of it, but I felt uncomfortable with the material. It sounded like politically incorrect or something, and superiority and inferiority style. But anyway, I probably should finish it. And the first morning I started to channel, I went, after I got the first chapter done, I went to sweep my floor under my bed in my house. I was just cleaning my Montreal apartment, and I found a golden Ankh under my bed. It's an Ankh necklace pendant. I have absolutely never purchased or owned an Ankh. And I had done an Airbnb, a kind of couple times rental of my place. And I phoned or emailed or reached out to the 2 people who had stayed there over the months before and sent them a picture, and nobody recognized it. You can't make this stuff up, guys. And I thought, okay, so I didn't even know that Hermes Trismegistus is known to carry the Ankh symbol. I found out after I found the Ankh and after I channeled that entity that day. I'm born with the asteroid Hermes on my ascendant, almost exact. So this makes sense. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Share this video if you wouldn't mind that, because it helps the channel grow. If you've had some crazy synchronicities coming through for you, especially on prior Cazimis or on this Cazimi, I'd love to hear your synchronicity stories in the comments below. In the meantime, I'll see you on the next video. This video is being released on Sunday, the 27th. On Thursday, I'll be doing another video, and I can't remember what I'm doing it on. Venus moving into Cancer, which is going to be exciting because she's with exalted Jupiter. So stay tuned for that as well. I probably should have done the Venus one first, so I'm not sure when this video comes out. Take care, everybody. Ciao, ciao.